Recently, I had an experience that reminded me of a past relationship where the person suddenly appeared and started exhibiting clear avoidant patterns. This recent experience from the very beginning started ringing alarms in my head based on the intuition of the patterns I recognize and how that dynamic begins. I, however, gave the person enough time to prove me wrong because it is not healthy to jump to conclusions. But unfortunately, I was proven right. One of the most disturbing things about avoidance and experiencing that is that it is a form of subconscious self-manipulation that unfortunately transcends into the manipulation of others, but it is disguised. It is often disguised as humility and innocence, and even humanitarian. Through tactics like self-pity, guilt-tripping, blame shifting, self-degradation, fear of conflict, lies through omission, and forced de-escalation. All of these things have one thing in common. They make you feel like the problem, all for their ego to avoid personal responsibility. And this is very exhausting, and it makes you doubt yourself when you're not aware of what's going on, which is very toxic. And here's the thing, the more aggressive a person is with these tactics that are often subconscious, the more aggressive they are, typically means that they are desperately trying to avoid their reality from crashing down, which typically means that they are running away from other things, other social dynamics, with parents, relationships, exes, friends. They are running away from those dynamics. They are avoiding them. But when you confront them with truth, they are desperate to not let their reality crash down. Because if their reality that is built on lies crashes down, they suddenly have to face a rush of intense guilt. A guilt that they were avoiding by creating false narratives about their dynamics in their life, making it out to be that other people are always the problem. Too demanding, too dramatic. Oh, why can't they just leave me alone? Why can't they accept me for who I am? I don't need to change. Everyone else is the problem. The ego doesn't want to face that immense guilt of their reality crashing down. So it'd rather justify itself in whatever way it can. Like a kid that doesn't want to get grounded by their parents, right? Avoid that discomfort, shame. So they just lie. And they find whatever tactic they can to avoid responsibility. Because responsibility means effort. So they rather self-manipulate, convincing themselves that they're the victim in the story. Because otherwise, reality hits that they're not as smart as they think they are, which means that they have hurt a lot of people way more than they thought. And that's scary because it brings a lot of shame as well. And the way many people face this shame is by, guess what? Avoiding it. Not by facing it through improvement, but by saying things like, I'm not perfect, nobody's perfect, I'm young, I'm still learning. I had bad parents. People are unfair. They expect too much from me. They lack patience with me. They don't accept me for who I am. All these narratives and hidden subtle ways that the ego wants to justify itself, even if it has to make other people feel bad. Another tactic is fake humility, which often looks like insulting oneself by even saying things like, I'm trash, I'm a failure, I don't deserve you, I don't want to hurt you. They do this as a way of saying this: you can't judge me. I already judged myself. So if you add on to it, that makes you a villain. It makes you unnecessarily mean to me. But judging yourself does not equal improvement. Nobody cares if you admit that you suck. People care if your behavior is not toxic. So therefore, it is fake humility, because actual humility doesn't just admit fault and lack of knowledge, but it stops making excuses in the name of the priority being comfort and fun. True humility gives urgency to truth, to improvement in the name of love. Because unfortunately, by nature, avoidants avoid love, which means they avoid defining love. They avoid learning how to love. And most of all, they avoid love, giving love, without making excuses. And an excuse in this context is simply avoiding. It's the avoidance of love as a priority. They avoid love in any type of dynamic which challenges their ego, which means they will often run from partners that challenge them towards people who enable them, who become an echo chamber that just repeats what they want to hear, or people who don't have the integrity to live in their own truth, which likely means they're also avoidant. Dynamics like friends with benefits, which is just for fun, right? Is not a deep connection per se. It is based on sharing something, an exchange. It is not actually love, right? Love is way more difficult, right? It implies responsibility to take care of others. Friends with benefits, you just share fun. That's it. There's no investment in the person's improvement and a responsibility for the sake of the world and how they can hurt other people. It is an agreement of we both don't care. Let's just have fun.